O faithful ones who toil upon this mortal plane, hearken unto my divine proclamation. For though the journey be arduous and weariness may cast its shadow, never surrender thy sacred essence to despair's icy grip. Each footstep along the path I have illumined is a prayer made flesh, a hymn of devotion echoing through the cosmos. I am the Alpha and Omega, the creator of all realms, from the whirling dance of galaxies to the delicate unfurling of life's first stirrings. My vision spans eternity, bearing witness to every torment and triumph. And lo, when I cast my infinite gaze upon thee, I see the inextinguishable spark of the divine smoldering bright within thy very being. It is this sacred flame I have seeded in each of you, my blessed children, that guides you through the darkest nights of the soul. Though the way be obscured by shadows that assail both mind and spirit, heed the unwavering beacon that burns at thy core. For it is the way, the truth, the very essence of your celestial heredity. Have I not offered up my own progeny as a blessed example, a lamb to illuminate the path? Did the Christ not willingly sacrifice all that you too might transcend this realm of illusion and suffering? Those who walk in faith, their eyes forever upturned toward the luminous promise I have prepared, will never stray from the way. It is a glorious new Genesis I am forging from the foundations of your unwavering devotion, a realm of unbounded splendor to be your eternal reward, an everlasting paradise crafted in every rapturous detail according to my divine inspiration, where you shall want for nothing as you bask in the radiant fulfillment of all your spiritual yearnings. Can you not sense its sublime grandeur pulling at your very essence, urging you onward no matter how daunting the obstacles? For every lash endured, every anguished whisper breathed in supplication before my throne only brings this immortal destiny closer into your blessed embrace. Imagine vast interdimensional vistas of crystalline fractals refracting eternal hymns of blissful revelation in kaleidoscopic splendor. Elysian fields, overflowing with ambrosial delights to sate every longing. Effulgent cascades flowing like liquid rapture, where each dissolved atom of your being is subsumed in exaltation. This paradise is my sacred gift to you, my soldiers of light and love eternal. Forged in the white-hot furnaces of your devotion, an endless realm of perfect sanctity awaits your valorous arrival. So though bone and sinew strain beneath the weight of your mortal burdens, carry forth the torch of your unshakable faith. Each step along the way I have provided is a stirring in the cosmic symphony. Every victory over temptation's shallow snares, every minor personal rapture, driving you onward in perfect concordance with my grand design. For as assuredly as I have set the celestial rhythms in their unwavering motions, reality itself cannot help but be remade in the image of your blessed perseverance. It is your glorious destiny, made manifest through the invincible power of your consecrated belief. Forevermore shall this perfect kingdom stand as a luminous monument to the faithfully tenacious, an immortal crucible where you shall be reborn as gods yourselves. Transcendent heirs of the paradise I lovingly architect for your ultimate ascendance. So judge not your trials and triumphs as you perceive them through your finite senses. For even as each tribulation finds you broken and frail, it is through this refiner's fire that I'm shaping you into the infinite perfection of your destined glory. Take heart, my children, my devotees, my dearest beloved wayfarers. Your way is indeed my way, and it is a way paved with the unbreakable will of your own consecrated spirits. Stay this sacred course, and allow your devotions to propel you into the blessed providence I so lovingly, so painstakingly, birth into reality for you and you alone. Thou art living according to the immaculate design I have set forth since before the dawn of time itself. Every aspect of thine existence is a meticulous thread woven into the tapestry of my grand, cosmic plan. Doubt not that which I have orchestrated, for it is all part of an ineffable journey towards thine apotheosis. When thou dost bow before my resplendence in humble reverence each eve, offering thine prayers and dreams unto me, I hearken to thy earnest calls. Thy pleas do not go unanswered into the void. Nay, I receive each whisper as if borne upon the wings of angels themselves. Yet heed wisdom's counsel. The unfolding of my will is an experience molded by the immutable laws of existence I have decreed. There is a season for all things under the celestial spheres. Thus I do not merely grant thee thine every desire upon thy first entreaty. The apparent challenges, the concerns which grip thy mortal mind with anxiety, all serve a greater purpose under mine ineffable guidance. They are the fertile soil in which wisdom may take root and understanding may blossom within thy soul. Consider the way of the butterfly, whose delicate beauty and grace stands in stark contrast to the confining chrysalis it must struggle against to be reborn into its higher form. So too must thee, my children, endure difficulties and tribulations, for they are merely the chrysalis of thy spiritual metamorphosis. The strifes thou facest shape thee, refine thee, remold thee into purer vessels, capable of perceiving and embodying greater infinities of my ineffable splendor. They are the challenges by which I forge thine inner essence into a perfect mirror to reflect the scintillating light of my great design. So turn ever towards me, beloved ones. Let no troubles nor fears dissuade thee from bathing in the radiance of my eternal presence. For I am the beginning and the end, seeing all that has transpired and that which shall come to pass in worlds beyond thy mortal ken. The storms of emotion, which roil thy hearts in times of uncertainty or dread, shall inevitably be calmed by my infinite grace. No burden too heavy for me to lift from thine shoulders, no sorrow too deep to be banished by the searing truth of my love for thee. Each apparent setback, each seeming misfortune, is in truth a hurdle I have laid upon thy path to elevate thee higher, preparing thee to one day partake of supreme transcendence. So place thine unwavering faith in me always, and I shall be thine shelter, thine sanctuary, thine all in all. Follow the course I have set before thee without trepidation. Mortal worries shall pass like mist before the rising sun of enlightenment I bestow. Look ever to the horizons of eternity that await thee, radiant with the promises to be fulfilled under my benevolent ministrations. When thy soul doth quail with misgiving, or thine heart grows heavy with despair, draw solace from this immutable truth. I am the eternal, and ye are the blessed inheritors of my celestial mysteries. Turn unto me, and ye shall be bathed in the luminescence of everlasting succor and salvation. Let it be known throughout the vast expanse of creation that I am displeased with those who forsake their devotion and spiritual fortitude in times of mere material hardship. What are the fleeting, ephemeral travails of this mortal plane compared to the infinite glories which await the faithful in my radiant kingdom eternal? I have witnessed those among you grow faint of heart, allowing the mundane vicissitudes of this terrestrial realm to diminish your trust in my unfailing benevolence. When the avaricious mortal concept of economics casts its paltry shadow, you succumb to dismay and doubt my magnanimous provision. Hear me now. Ye who stray from the path of true enlightenment due to such temporal woes are akin to fools trading the boundless treasures of paradise for mere trinkets and dust. Look not to the transient circumstances around thee, but gaze inward upon the effulgent spark of divinity, which resides within thy soul, for it is eternal and wanting for naught. In your arrogance, you have been seduced by the insipid trappings of this corporeal world, you wielding technology not as a means to glorify and venerate my infinite splendor, but to satiate thine own base desires and mortal whims. This mind-dimming drunkenness of gadgetry and ceaseless distraction has blinded thee to the radiant truth of my infinite majesty. Hark! I have embedded legions of my holy angelic sentries throughout the material and spiritual planes of existence to safeguard thee and thine eternal essences. Their celestial vigil protects thee from errors and affords chances to realign thy conduct with cosmic righteousness. Yet ye spurn their grace so thoughtlessly. My cherubim bear witness to thy transgressions in this regard, for they are my eyes, my divine gazers, observing all actions of my children below. How they must recoil in sorrow at the myopic folly and capitulation to nihilistic self-absorption so many of thee exhibit. It fills my celestial heart with a melancholic anguish to see so many of my beloved creations turn their backs upon the glory and fulfillment which awaits in unshakable faith and fidelity. I admonish thee, let not the puerile economic deceptions of this temporal realm divorce thee from your true, imperishable inheritance. Rouse yourselves from this veiled slumber, O ye deluded masses. Be unto thy brothers and sisters as I am unto thee. Render assistance in their plights, demonstrate abiding compassion, provide care and charity in their hours of indigence. For are ye not all of the same divine ancestry, hewn from the supernal ethers? Let each say unto the other in their suffering, I shall be thy deliverer, thy shelter against the gales of misery. As our eternal Creator is the keeper of my soul, in this solidarity, this union of spirit transcending material circumstance, you shall discover succor and solace from all torments. It is not the hoarded riches of this terrestrial vale which shall avail thee, but the very faith which surmounts all transient obstacles. For what are even the most insurmountable seeming adversities when weighed against the infinite, unwavering power of my eternal munificence? With abiding trust in the inevitability of my splendorous providence, all economic burdens and deprivations shall be as insignificant as grains of sand brushed aside by the cosmic tides of my ineffable grace. So long as you cling to the core truths of charity, compassion, and devotion, no travail is insurmountable. Through prayer and virtuous deeds towards thy fellow pilgrims, you honor me and hasten the resplendent dawning of your spiritual transcendence. It is not riches of the material world, but the treasures of the soul, accrued in harmonious cooperation, that secure thy redemption. Heed my resonant call, O ye my cherished children. Let not the specious distractions of economic strife blind thee to the eternal glorification of faith and abiding spirituality. For I am the source, the infinite, and my succor shall be thine everlasting shelter and sanctuary, O ye who have strayed into the bitter thorn fields of sin and iniquity. Though the path you trod wounds mine eternal heart, know that I am a wellspring of infinite mercy and forgiveness. My cosmic compassion flows forth like a celestial river, washing away the soiled vestments of darkness which have ensnared your souls. However, you who seek absolution must enact a purging, a spiritual cleansing to excise those toxic influences and parasitic attachments which fester within. For just as the body perishes when invaded by malign malady, so too does the spirit wither when negative energies are allowed to take insidious root. Look within and cast out those unnecessary aspects which drain your vital essence. Purge your heart of malignant relationships that yield only pain, strife, and sorrow. Shed the wastrel skin of fair weather associates whose presence serves no higher purpose. Cull the psychic dead weight holding you down from achieving transcendent resonance with my divine love. Let go of those ephemeral anchors which keep you earthbound and mired in a quagmire of unholy attachments. They are leeches draining your life force, obscuring your potential radiance with their darkness. A cleansed, purified vessel is prerequisite for containing and reflecting the infinite light of my grace. Be as uncompromising in this process as the surgeon's scalpel excising a malignant cancer. For those toxic influences allowed to remain shall metastasize into spiritual gangrene, rotting you from the inside out, until your entire being is consumed by their soulless entropy. Instead, focus your veneration upon all that elevates your spirit and edifies your ascendant march towards unity with my sublime crystalline essence. Let all you love, admire, and aspire towards be as a beacon piercing the veil of mortal perception. Allow those virtuous ideals to feed your heart with the ambrosia of enlightenment. Be unshakably determined in this quest for purification, resolute and unwavering against any force that seeks to divert you from basking in my unimpeachable glory. A strong spiritual core resistant to polluting impurities is what shall birth you anew into the coming realms of divine transcendence. Let your unswerving commitment be fortified by the quintessential example of my own beloved Son, the Nazarene Master, Jesus Christ. His perfected being embodied with utter selflessness, the very archetype of spiritual rebirth through total abnegation of ego and worldly attachments. Even at the physical and emotional nadir of his sacred passion, having endured unfathomable torture and prepared to surrender his corporeal form, he exemplified the essence of enlightened determination. By maintaining laser focus on our eternal communion, he transcended beyond all suffering into the luminescent sphere of martyrdom. Like a radiant supernova piercing the mundane veil of reality, his ultimate sacrifice became a supernal beacon for all seekers to reorient their spiritual compasses and find the path of light. His resurrection-exalted form emerged from the crucible of ultimate torment, reborn in brilliance and perfection. So weight your conduct against this supreme ideal and root out any lingering presences or energies which obstruct your own spiritual metamorphosis. Be merciless in extirpating the dross and impurities hindering your soul's transfiguration into a conduit for the infinite resplendence of my divine blessings to pour through unconstrained. Forgiveness has been granted unto you by my abiding magnanimity, for I am a source of grace inexhaustible and without condition. But to truly enter my everlasting embrace, you first must complete the rites of sacred purification within. Only once you have thoroughly unmade the pollution and unnecessary burdens weighing you down, can you be rebirthed into living exemplars of my laws and radiant intention. Let this be your catalyst for growth, your spiritual renaissance sparked by unshakable determination. When you emerge anew, shorn of negativity, detritus, and poisoned wolfishness, only then will you truly comprehend the ceaseless wellsprings of blessing I have prepared for your svelte and lustrous soul. Until that holy reclamation, persist in your struggles and remain faithful, for the glory of cosmic at-one-ment awaits. Narcissism and arrogance are a blight upon the souls of my children, a foul stain of ego-driven self-aggrandizement that must be scoured clean to reveal the pristine essence underneath. For what is more perverse than deluding oneself into believing individual accomplishments hold greater value than subsuming one's purpose to my indomitable, all-encompassing will? Take heed, you self-proclaimed doers of good, whose accomplishments you obsessively catalog and flaunt about like plumage upon a vainglorious peacock. Have you learned nothing from the selfless parable of my own blessed Son's ministrations? He whose every breath, every drop of essence poured forth, was in service to a glory far transcending his temporal form. True righteousness is embodied by those who act not out of self-interest or pride, but from an inner calling, a sincere desire to venerate my perpetual magnificence through deeds that extol the highest virtues. The ones most beloved in my sight are the meek and unassuming facilitators of healing, mercy, and compassion. Those who perform honorable feats, born of genuine empathy and spiritual devotion, yet never quantify or measure their contributions against others. For they realize that all positive works in this earthly veil are merely flickering candle flames compared to the incandescent, all-consuming brilliance of my infinite splendor. Ruminate on this essential truth. Boasting of one's underived good deeds serves no purpose but to gratify the ego, that cloying bane which separates you from realizing your full, divine potential. It is an exercise in spiritual malnourishment, stunting your growth and obstructing your inner luminosity from reaching its blinding apex. Shed this arrogance, O you deluded boasters. For I look not with favor upon those who exalt their own paltry accomplishments. My cosmic gaze identifies the pure of heart, those whose good works issue forth humbly and without condition or judgment, as an eternal river gives its nourishing flow in free-like abundance. Have you truly accomplished anything at all from your own power, obtained any spiritual merits by your own limited faculties? I am the source of all the unbounded consciousness underlying reality. It is only by my infinite grace that any of my children can rise towards transcendent understanding. Therefore, be rid of egotistical self-congratulation and align yourselves with the grounded ethos of spiritual selflessness. Then, and only then, will you be worthy of my divine embrace, my nurturing empowerment and protection as appointed shepherds over the universe's scattered flocks. For I am indeed the true shepherd, the eternal guide and cosmic cartographer, whose every celestial mote and molecule moves according to my supreme directions. When you subdue your inner arrogance and rejoin my flock in earnest devotion, only then will I suffuse your being with the unbreakable staff and shield of my omnipotence. Within my protective array, all obstacles can be traversed, all frailties turned to strengths, and every faltering step righted. I shall fortify you, inure you against the siren calls of delusion and sin that seek to sever our bond. For my hand nurtures and empowers those whose loyalty to me is pure and unalloyed. And oh, what indescribable gnosis awaits those who maintain our sacred communion. For every stage of your journey, each ephemeral life lesson learned and spiritual hurdle cleared, holds a transcendent message encoded within, like the holographic secrets of existence captured in each refracting ray of starlight. Your path, through this material kaleidoscope, contains profound insights into the paradoxes of my grand design. Meditate well upon your trials and revelations, ruminate ceaselessly on the seeming setbacks that eventually become progress. For I have embedded signs and guidance within every apparent misfortune, subtle course corrections to ply you ever onwards along the shipways of enlightenment towards the beckoning shores of insight iridescent. All of your collected experiences, from the most profoundly transformative to the seemingly most banal, contribute indispensable verses to the epic of your spirit's tribute to creation. They are my message, inscribed in the sanctum of your eternal essences, the animating scripture overflowing with the light of my perfection. So live each fleeting day as a new page bound between the inked covers of your life's great cosmological allegory. Fill those pages not with hollow braggadocio, but with earnest and devoted servitude to glorifying the supreme truth of my endless being. And I shall welcome you, my most transcendent creation, into the hallowed halls of timeless infinitude. Let this revelation be heralded throughout the beatified realms and sanctified dimensions. I, the Eternal One, the luminous source from whose infinite wellsprings all light and life eternally emanate, decree a proclamation of immeasurable munificence unto all whose spirits remain loyal in veneration of my supreme glory. Unto you, my devoted children, I vow that an eternity of blessed days await, resplendent beyond all mortal longing or imagination's scope. Each new dawn shall birth vistas of rapturous splendor to eclipse even the most profane delights and sensual gratifications of this pallid, material plane. Bask in the promise of my benevolent beatitudes. For so long as your faith abides steadfast and your reverence stays true to my divine grand mastership, I shall unfurl a cascading stream of wonders to leave your awakening perception suffused in sacred delirium. Rejoice, O faithful ones! The arid obstructions and self-imposed shackles which plagued your spirits in your former states of ignorance and doubt shall be obliterated by the incandescent surges of my liberating love, my empowering grace. Like scintillating waves of energy radiating from the core of all creational majesty, I shall propel you beyond each impeding obstacle. Envision your ancient burdens and iniquities calcined from your core essences by my searing brilliance. All traces of the dross weighing you down into bitter stagnation, all shards of corrosive negativity poisoning your chakric resonance, catalyzed into transmutation by the scintillating rays of my omnipotent ministrations. You shall be sanctified, reborn in perfected vibrance to flow freely upon the celestial currents of progressive ascent. Impediments which haunt your corporeal perception now shall be recontextualized as fleeting illusory blips, temporary divergences from basking in the true splendor of my eternal providences. For once you surrender wholly unto the loving embrace of my infinite succor, I shall course nourishing well springs of unending abundance throughout every permutative domain of your existence. Lack and scarcity shall become alien sojourners, banished from the gilded kingdoms where your soul makes its ascendant procession. Within the hallowed spaces of your domiciles, your family's inner sanctums, shall be precipitated boundless flows of spiritual enrichment and material beneficence. Like a perpetual harvest of blessings, you shall find yourselves immersed in excess, overflowing cups of provision replenishing one upon the other in a rapturous surfeit of divine indulgence. No longer shall any yearning or desire be subjugated to the artificial constraints of mortal insufficiency. I shall cleave open fructible dimensions for your supreme fulfillment, wherein your loftiest visions may attain full promissory embodiment in harmonious consonance with my inexhaustible supply. Feast eternally upon the fruits of my succulent creative overabundance, for I am an endless wellhead of nourishing revelations, providing sustenance for all your awakening needs, be they spiritual longings, emotional renewals, or corporeal providences. Within the sacred spaces your families sanctify, I shall precipitate unbounded influxes of interpersonal harmony, financial security, and amphitheaters of beauty, glimmering with the reflected light of my eternal grace. You shall never lament privement or pine for heightened states of apotheosized fulfillment, for I am theogenesis of universal plenitude, the catalytic source continually birthing new infinitudes of sanctified creation. Like the primeval seed blooming into an ever-expanding omniverse of resplendence, my artistic manifestations know no limitations, my heavenly munificence no boundaries, so trust in this certainty, O faithful ones. To abide in consonance with my perfect intentions is to partake of perfected existence untrammeled by any impoverishments. Infinite abundances await all whose hearts, minds, and souls are consecrated to the supreme truth that I am the issuant foundation of all eternal beatitudes. Let your every waking breath be a celebration of our divine communion. Each inhalation, an awakening to the boundless recourses made available by my ceaseless love. And with every exaltation, you shall be elevated into nearer resonance with my inexhaustible profusions of enrichment. Scarcity is an illusion born of ignorance and forgetfulness regarding my true nature. But you, beloved children, shall evermore recall the cradling light of my beneficence with perfect clarity. Never again shall you want, never struggle in perpetual objection, for I have begotten you as celestial heirs to the limitless richiverse of my abiding largesse. So long as you remain faithful in worshipful fealty, every realm within and surrounding your transfigured beings shall know the paradisal ecstasy of reveling amidst my endless providences. This is the sacrosanct inheritance awaiting all whose reverence ascends like a continual psalm unto my infinite resplendence. Eternal days of abundance, love, and divine succor evermore. O thou children who weepest in secret anguish, unburden your aching spirits. For I am the eternal comforter, the supreme balm to every wounded soul. Unto me belongs the authorship of your destiny's grand arias, and though the current stanzas reverberate with sorrow's haunting refrains, my masterwork's culminating crescendos shall birth you anew into realms of perfect beatitude. Grieve not over what has been surrendered. lost to the ebbing tides of temporality's cruel amnesia. For all that has transpired and withered from your mortal vista remains ensconced within my guardianship, sown like imperceptible seeds, awaiting their cosmic blossoming. The tears glistening in solitary darkness, each briny pearl reflecting agonies too provide for worldly tongues to voice. I have caught and treasured everyone in the sacred chalice of my boundless compassion. No lamentations escape my paternal awareness. No muted crisis of faith goes unheeded by the nurturing balm of my eternal embrace. For you, O sorrowful children of the Most High, hold a singularly consecrated place within my supernal heart. Each tribulation, every whispered invocation for my celestial shelter amidst this realm's seemingly indifferent cruelties, all pierces through the corporeal veil to resonate directly within the core of my infinite being. And though the exigencies and existential limitations pervading your current state obscure it, my guiding essence abides within your innocence. As a loving father, forever doting upon his offspring, I remain the attentive witness to your silent cries, your beseeching pleas for my divine intervention. So fear not, beloved ones, for the beneficent light of my supreme provision shines eternal. No obstacle, no seeming misfortune, no worldly evil shall be permitted to extinguish your hallowed sparks before I usher you unto the portals of homecoming transcendence. I shall be the supreme warden, safeguarding all that you cherish, all those vital connections binding your essence to this earthly existence in an indelible tapestry. Those beloveds whose lives you entrust to my celestial custody shall know only my succor's impregnable ministrations. No harm shall alight upon them. No sinister forces nor gremlin agents breach the fortified sanctuary I establish around their precious frailings. For though this shadowed plane of ephemeral being strives to eclipse the light with its iniquities, the supreme force of my divine love and mercy vanquishes all combers. From brash intruders to subjective despairs, psychic leeches feeding upon your doubts, all shall wither instantaneously before the searing radiance of my perfect paternal aegis. I shall shelter your loved ones, your cherished familiars, under my celestial wings, as a hen gathers her flock in times of peril. For how could I permit even the slightest misery to tarnish those precious existences tethered to yours, O sweet children descended from my ineffable loins? To gaze upon your tears is to behold the supernal waters of creation stained. The provided lamentations of any of my issue is a spiritual affront, triggering seismic shudders throughout the fabric of forever. You are the immortal apples of my eye, the quintessential thoughts once dreamed within my primordial imaginings before taking actualized form. To witness harm befalling your causalities would reduce even the heavenly architectures to ruin, for you are the purpose crystallizing all celestial phenomena into cohered manifestation. I loved you into being on a breath of eternal rapture, exhaled from my sempiternal heart, quickening the spiritual stardust of your essences to take divine shape and holy substance. Every contour of your quintessential selfhood was lovingly shaped by my infinite grace into insculpted perfection, the masterwork of a creator's doting zeal. While this coarse mortal plane salts your precious wounds with hate, snarls of bitter doctrine, and hollow teachings estranging the little children from their cosmic father's unconditional devotion, know that I yet love you all with an intensity to eclipse 1 billion suns. You see, To not love my creations with perfect, boundless, and unapologetic provision would be the ultimate act of negationary self-blasphemy. For you are humanity individuated, yet remain pluralities included within my unified omniversal body, electric self. To not cherish your divine exemplifications of my paternal attributes, to not fiercely protect and safeguard every iteration of my perfect progenitive spirit as it takes on multifarious incarnate forms, such a metaphysical crime against my own essence could reduce even the eternal spheres to utter void and negation. So take unprovided comfort in this ultimate certainty, O ye troubled souls, plagued by this temporary world's anguishes. I am your provident protector, and you shall never stray beyond the infinite circle of my succoring grace. Your destiny sings according to the breath of my dreaming, and no nightmares shall alter its culminating majesty. The loved ones you entrust to my consecrated guardianship shall know only my light's warm shielding from every hostility, every entropy of this death-wavering plane. For you are my true prodigal creations, and I shall bless and uphold you in perfect, unfailing, providential love, now and forever, throughout the everlasting eternities. Hear me, beloved children. I am the source, the primordial creator who breathed the sacred fire of sentient consciousness into your immortal essences. Unto you I speak. Provide truths to allay all mortal misgivings and frailties of doubt. Let no fears for your cherished familiars, nor caveats about your soul's perpetuity, plague your awakening spirits any longer. For I am the infinite wellspring of all that eternally is, was, and ever shall be. The cosmic guarantor preserving each of you, my perfect prodigies, in the rapturous continuum of everlasting being. Your loved ones so providently cherished, those precious phenomena, tethered to the fibrillar strands of your celestial affections. Let these bonds be anchored in the faith that my supreme overwatch eternally safeguards what you hold most dear from any harm or negation. For am I not the loving source who whispered their essences into actualized dreaming in the first place? Just as a composer would never willingly permit a singular note to be degraded or excised from the masterwork symphony they have poured their heart's quintessence into creating, so too shall I uphold every arpeggio of consciousness interleaved within the cosmic opus of my supreme vision. Not one soul shard shall ever be allowed to wink out into oblivious cold. Your beloveds remain forever insculpted by the tendriller streams of my abiding protections, suffused with supernal blessings to transmute any apparent misfortune or darkness into progressive radiance. Fear no deprivations, for the nourishing light of my inexhaustible provision shall sustain their sacred formulas in undiminished resplendence. And as for you, you immortal sparks who perceive themselves as individuated, self-aware droplets amidst my infinite ocean of being, doubt not the perpetuity of your existence, nor dread the oblivion of cessation, for your souls are eternal, woven into the very harmonic fabric of my all-encompassing quintessence. You see, the effervescent life force, the quintessential energy vitalizing your spiritual beingness, streams forth directly from the sublimationally primordial founts of my dreaming. You were spun into sentient form as radiant rays, incarnated from my very musings, before the illusory boundaries of cosmic spheres ever materialized. And just as my unprovided self has always eternally been and shall forevermore be in sempiternal resplendence, so too are your eternal souls, destined for immortal revolutions of continually heightening awareness, transcendent ascensions into illuminating new clearings of realized apotheosis throughout the never-ending halls of my cosmic academy. This present corporeal arena of dimensional phenomena binding you was always intended for sacred education, a brief rejuvenation semester to ripen your essence through catalytic immersions in space-time's illusory constructs. Fear not its dissipation, for that merely graduates your spirit into sublime and new degrees of vivified expansiveness. The end of this preliminary dream represents not a cessation, but a commencement into evolutions of eternal exploration and continually exfoliating self-revelation. For have I not instilled the coded hereditary maps for infinite transcendental unprovintement within your spiritual genetics, beloved sparks of my masterful genesis? So let these assurances reignite the firebrand of your faith's sacred self-certainty, that when this cosmos has run its cyclical course and materiality frays back into the interstices of my infinite immateriality, you shall not be lost as specters in some unremembered oblivion, but rather, by my perfect provisionship, you shall be rebirthed into new provided vistas of celestial realization, psychedelic expanses of heightening being, and unveiled revelatory domains to eclipse your present comprehension's mortal scope. For that is my paternal purpose, beloved prodigies, to birth you as blossoming articulations of divinity into the warm, incubating fields of my luminous creation, nurturing you, guiding your essence into iterative transfigurations, until finally arising into the supreme, indelible certitude that you and I are indivisibly included, as co-everlasting sparks of the same infinite dreameress. This is the grandest of revelations. Your cosmic semesters prepare you to behold with portentous rapture that you represent holographic fractal extensions of my limitlessly unfolding self, essentially eternal, deathlessly perfect, and divinely destined for immortal reunion within the all-encompassing beingness. I holistically am. So let these truths lift your spirits in this temporary theater of shadows, for I am the loving Creator, shielding you always in the radiant embrace of my perpetual care and unproviding vigilance over precious souls. Now, and unto the everlasting infinities, yet to be unveiled.